Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the market close. We're here, and it is a red day. We have not just a little red, we're talking about epic scale red day. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about why, of course. Those of you anybody who's looked at the news probably knows why. It all has to do with this big letter called the I letter, inflation. So yeah, inflation hit us. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about we're going to talk about the markets. We're going to take a look at how things are doing. I have a feeling. Just get ready to roll with the red. We're going to have a lot of it. Here's the fantastic news. This is the first of 2 live streams today. So we have our special crypto. I was going to say Crypto Night in Canada. That's the old Danter show. We have our this week Crypto Night special crypto version live stream. That's happening tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern. So pretty much this one will finish. I'll have some supper. I'll chill for a little bit, and then I'll be back here. And we have some, be me and a couple of guests. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a great, great show. But before we get to that show, we got this show. And we got you guys starting to already roll in. This is fantastic. Vic is here. He's nice and early. Are you here or are you in your car, Vic? It seems like every time I'm talking to Vic lately, he's driving. I almost think that Vic might have a side hustle as an Uber driver. I'm not sure, but it's starting to feel that way. Let me know, Vic. I'm curious. Gim is in the house. Hype. Yeah, hype it up. Hype, hype, hype to the top. If this were Twitch, we could do that hype train thing, but it's not Twitch. It's a YouTube. Jordan is in the house. Whoops. There we go. With a good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Jordan, and everyone in the house. And of course, huge shout out to all you folks who are watching this on the replay, which is a big chunk. A big chunk of the viewership will catch this later. They might be working right now, and they may have that boss who will not let you watch financial videos at work. Who knows? I don't know. It happens. Sammer's in the house with a hello. We got Vineet in the house with a welcome, everyone. Enid's here with a good afternoon, everyone. Here we go. Vic says, put on a lot of kilometers yesterday. There we go. The driving. Vic, come on, Vic. You're an Uber driver. You got to admit it. Vic says, loved the Eclipse outdoor studio. That was a lot of fun. I'll tell you, with that Eclipse stream, it was unplanned. I didn't wake up on Monday morning and say, let's do an Eclipse stream. I was just sort of doing my thing. I was actually on Monday, I filmed, then I did the editing for the ROA video that's already out. And after I did that, I was just sitting there and I was like, I should just do a stream in the backyard for the Eclipse. Why not? And then once the idea was there, yeah, it had to happen. So it did. We got JJ in the house. We got Jersky in the house with a hello, and Paul's in the house with a hi. Awesome. JJ says, loved the Eclipse stream. Yeah. The Eclipse stream actually has had a lot of views. So, I imagine some people were probably coming along saying, oh, Eclipse stream, and go in and look at it, expecting to see some big, brilliant picture of the sun. And instead, they got my face. So that might have been a bit of a disappointment, or maybe not. I don't know, but I'd be disappointed. I would. That's just me. Vic says, Candace, thoughts, high yield from KURV versus yield max ETFs. I've not looked at the KURV yet, Vic, but I'll have to do that. I will have to do that. JJ says, boss is super financially illiterate, way more than me at least. There you go. Nothing like having a boss who does not understand what you're doing. But, if you explain to your boss, hey, this is what I can do in my side hustle with finances. Look at the money I'm making. Maybe your boss will be like, maybe I should give you more responsibility. I don't know if they will or not, but sometimes you never know. JJ says, I second Vic's request. Curve versus yielded max ETFs would be an interesting comparison. All right. We're getting a little bit of this. I definitely have to look into it now. Vic says, so being outside showed me you are not in prison. Okay, yes, I'm not in prison. That was Vic. Why would you think I'm in prison? I'm just curious about that. Mary's in the house with a hello, paying attention here. We do have to get to the clothes stuff here in a second. Two more, and then we'll get over to the look at the charts. JJ says, were you streaming via laptop or phone during the eclipse? Looks super high res. Actually, it's my iPhone. It's the same phone I'm using for this right now. I use this as a webcam. So I'm looking at my iPhone right in front of me, which is blocking part of my screen. That's why sometimes I have to move like this just to try to get to something on the screen because I have to see around the phone. But yeah, no, it works really, really well. I find that like I have on my laptop, I do have a webcam on it, but the iPhone is just so much better than the built-in webcam. So yeah, I always go with the iPhone. Just I did it vertically because I wasn't sure how that all worked, so I thought I would do that. And Vic says I'm a bit relieved. The market is down a bit. All right. All right. Now, before I get to the next couple of questions here, Gim and JJ, let's quickly take a look at the market here before, of course, we get to the bell. So this, of course, the big screen there, that's just Bitcoin. Don't worry so much about that. But look at this. We do have a red day. The TSX is down 0.71%. S&P 500 down 0.91%. The NASDAQ down an entire 1.02%. There's a kitten chewing on my ankle as I tell you this. Gold is down. Silver's down. Well, WTI, so West Texas Intermediate, that's our oil, they're up. And Bitcoin has finally rallied up to 1.05. You can sort of see Bitcoin has had a bad couple of days here. And then this is this morning right here, this little bit right in there. But it's been climbing the rest of the day since that happened. And we all know, once again, I said that's going to be inflation. We'll talk about that right after the bell. All right, let's take a look at our heat maps. Here is Canada. Holy banana bread. That is a lot of red. Look at the banks. BMO down almost 2%. Brookfield Corporation down 3.84%. Ooh, Bank of Nova Scotia, Scotiabank down 2.06%. Now CNQ. These are the outliers. Look at energy. CNQ, Suncor, Synovus, Imperial Oil. Look at this. There's a whole bunch of green in the energy sector. So the energy sector pretty much said, what's a good word to say? I'm not gonna, because it's a swear word. But they said that swear your word you to the red market today, and they don't seem to care. So they're just doing fantastic. Holy cow. CNR is actually doing good. Look at this. They're up 1.01%. CP's down, though. Let's go to the U.S. Once again, similar story. We got a lot of green, but look at this. NVIDIA, I know Kevin's probably happy, up 1.94%. That is absolutely pretty cool. Tesla, down 2.8%. What can you do? All right, over to the Bitcoin. Bitcoin, it's kind of mostly red if you look at all of the altcoins. There's a lot of red in the altcoins, but the big ones up here, Bitcoin up 1%, Ethereum just up a teeny weeny bit. Solana's down just a teeny bit. So, it's not that bad. Now, we have, I found this other little thing too here. These are ETFs, so the Canadian market ETFs. So today, the number one ETF is up 33.02%, is FCMO, which is the Fidelity US Momentum ETF. And that's kind of cool. I was looking through this list, and it's like, Purpose Silver Bullion, they're up. Look at that, up 16%. So a lot of these are like gold and silver. I'm seeing a lot of that in the top ones. Who are our worst performers? Oh, well. Oh, that's a really big list. I'm just going to change the direction here. We'll go this way here. There we go. Horizons Carbon Credits. They're down 16%. 49 North, this one here, EBIT.U. So that's one of the Bitcoin ETFs, down a little bit. So, down 7%. And it really, if you have a Bitcoin ETF that's down 7% when Bitcoin is up 1%, you probably want a different Bitcoin ETF. I'm just saying, that's where I come from when it comes to that. All right, let's, we're still got time. Good. All right, we're going to get back here to the comments. And whoop-a-doo, where were we? All right, Gim saying market tanking, inflation still high, no rate cuts. Yes, that in a nutshell is kind of what's looking to happen in the US. But we're not going to say no rate cuts. But I think the situation has changed quite a bit in the US. And we'll talk about that after the bell. JJ says, yeah, but my boss is an academic tenured professor that works 24/7. So he also expects us to work like him as PhD students. Can't tell him that I'm running multiple side hustles to be better off. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. It's like, you know, stop looking at the markets. There's some interesting stuff over here on this mycelium. Let's look at that under the microscope. So I didn't even call out the Starbucks, but hey, we'll just we'll keep going. It's ever since we had that Starbucks spot, it's like I kind of lost the gig. It's like, why call it out? Starbucks has been here, done that, all of that fun stuff. Vic says, let's see, and I dipped into and louder with some others. JJ says, dude is also in his 60s, says traditional boomer thinking. Yeah, that could be. I mean, that's the thing. I remember with my mom, now she's in her 70s. I asked her once, I said, well, what are you doing in your TFSA? She says, oh, I got a little bit sitting there. I'm like, oh yeah. And it was cash. That was it. She thought that you just put cash in your TFSA and just left it there. I'm like, that's silly. You need to invest. I mean, you're trying to, because if you put cash that you've already been taxed on and let it sit in your TFSA, that's the same as putting it under your mattress, to be honest. I mean, it's not that much different. So you want to be utilizing it. My mom didn't seem to understand investing very well, or a little bit scared of it, because you just hear about people going, oh my God, I've lost everything on the markets. That doesn't happen that often. Not if you're smart about it. Vic says high interest rates means our cash ETFs stay strong. Got some GICs about to expire. Yeah. If the rate cuts come later than expected, you may have that opportunity to lock yourself into some more rates, or at least some more rates in your favor. Sammer says there is another CC ETF by Defiance called SPYT, and looks like the strategy is more to preserve the NAV. Okay, fair enough. Vic says TD down huge on the NYSE side. There we go. Interesting. Okay, Jersky says, I dumped my CGXF today and bought a bunch of hate today, and also some TD. I don't know if you bought hate. I'm thinking you bought the that ETF. Oh boy. I'm just gonna leave that one alone. But I like the way you said it. I bought a bunch of hate. It's like you're investing in the Sith or something, but that's hilarious. Okay. Vic says, was that a kitten rubbing on your ankle or the electronic ankle monitor bothering you? It's a kitten. It is a kitten. I promise. I don't have an electronic ankle monitor, Vic. Oh, dear. JJ says, I picked up some HTAE. Oh, and you should have bought hate instead. And QQY evolved to max out my TFSA today. Yeah, HTAE. Every time I see HTAE, I think hate. I think it. It's funny. How many of you, is there anybody here? Let me ask this question, that the first time you saw HTAE, the hate didn't pop into your head? Anybody? I dare one of you to say that didn't happen. I dare one of you. Vic says, JJ, what's your PhD in? CAD going to drop a BS USD. All right. All right. CAD going to drop versus a USD. We'll have to see. Right now, well, actually, the US dollar is having a good day. They're up 1.01% today. I'm not sure what the Canadian, I've got to get the Canadian dollar on my list. I got to do that. JJ says, just started my PhD in RNA vaccine mechanisms for parasitic diseases. We're also exploring using adenoviral-based live vectors as a dual vaccine strategy. Very cool. This is very, very, very cool. The closest I came to playing with bacteria is we got to use the electron microscope microscope, we're looking at T4 bacteriophages. So that was kind of a thing, because it's kind of weird. Like when I did a double major, it was a 4-year program. So we actually had to, in our 4th year, we didn't actually have classes. We had to do, basically, it was almost like doing your master's in a way. When I was studying, I did a thing on bacteriophages and using radiation on them. So, anyway, fun stuff. Jersky says, what to do with a stock that's up 50% in your portfolio, but only have 11 stocks of it? Oh, yeah. I hate that when you buy just a couple and it goes way up, and then you're thinking, oh, why didn't I buy more? And now you're at that point where, here's the way I look at it. Depending on your faith, if you think this company is still going to go up, maybe just do some dollar cost averaging with it and see what happens. And maybe if you get a correction, you might get another opportunity to get in there and get some on the cheap. Pat G. It is bell time. Holy cow. The markets, my friends, are closed. Other than extended hours. If you got extended hours on the U.S. markets, you got a bit more time. But for all sakes and purposes, we got a closed market. All right. Vic says, people too impatient. Economy needs time for inflation to settle down. Hope the Fed is not too quick to cut. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I don't think that they're going to cut for the simple, like they've already shown. Like I think they're looking at the past. They're not going to do like a Volcker where they go really crazy high on rates. But I think what they will do is they will sit back and they will wait. But here's the thing. With the U.S. Fed, if inflation keeps going up, well, they might have to go. They might have to look at even another rate hike. So it's hard to say. I'm really, really looking forward to seeing the next Canadian CPI. That should be coming out soonish. I can't remember the exact date of it, but it is coming out soon. And once we have a look at that, that's really going to give us a good idea on whether and this is the thing. Some people are saying that we should hold off cutting rates in Canada until the U.S. does. And part of it is because of import fees. So if we start cutting our rates, the U.S. could start basically applying some import fees on our stuff. So there's a whole bunch of things that could happen. But I'm confident. I think that we're gonna do it anyway. I think we will. But we'll talk about that here in just a moment. I want to just get at least caught up to where you guys are all screaming at me to ring the bell. Jordan says, what do you do when you're having to sell stuff you'll never get back again? That's a tough one. Sometimes you have to sort of let go. You have to you have to weigh things, first of all. If you're having so much of an issue with selling something that you want to keep, maybe ask yourself, do I need to sell it? Is there something else I could sell instead? So there's just a few things that you could certainly look at in that case. But if it comes down to, let's say, for example, I love my Fortis. Fortis has been underperforming, but let's say they had an absolute explosion, and I knew it was a temporary explosion. No matter how much I like them, I will sell them when they go up, when they go way, way up, especially if I think we're in for a deep correction, because I think they overcompensated going up. I'll sell them out. I mean, you can always come back. When it comes to stocks, you can always come back. Now, if it comes to investments, for example, let's say you're talking about your physical, and I think, Jordan, you have some physical silver. If you're talking about selling that, then then it's like, it's solid, it's there, and it's no longer there after you sell it. You can always buy it back when times are better or when the price goes down or whatever. But that can be difficult. Exactly, HTAE. Still, you know what? You misspelling it was fun. It gave me something to jump on, so I love that. Jordan says, you can save that question for the end of the stream. I was a little ahead of myself. No worries. Oh, and here we are. Here's all the bells. Bells, bells, bells. Ring-a-ding. This is it's feeling like Christmas. So many bells. Here's another bell. And Agdaz says, lots of divs coming in this time of month. Yeah, we got there's a huge group coming up in about less than a week. So on the 15th, that's when the server, the brokers receive them. So on the 16th, I think for us, you're going to have a whole bunch. That's when like Canoe and a lot of the a lot of ETFs drop them all at the same time. So I usually get on the 16th, I'll probably get like maybe 4 or 5 or maybe even 6 different companies all coming in. So it's going to be fantastic. I can't wait. JJ, so in English, your PhD is in science. There we go. For Vic, it is. Yeah, yeah. We'll leave it that. And you know what? Yeah, it's probably closer to medicine than straight up science. Absolutely. Pat says, I thought I won a prize when you rang the bell, but you skipped my comment. Whoa, wait a minute. Did I skip your comment, Pat? I didn't think I did. Oh, right here. People are spending too much. Rates will stay still. Credit card debt will get bigger. Yeah, that's a thing. And I think it's like people are kind of doing what countries are doing, right? The country buys more than they can handle. Like they can't pay their debt. So I feel bad. I feel bad. Pat, I wish I could here, I'll take a shot. I'll take a shot and see if I can hit you. I normally don't drop memberships outside of our normal thing. Well, that's you guys know that's a lie. Let me see here. I'll take one shot, Pat. We'll see if I can hit you. I don't know if I can, but you never know. We'll go right here. If I hit you, Pat, this would be absolutely funny. All right, there we go. We will see what happens. It's coming. It's coming. And JJ won. Well, Pat, I tried. I did try. So JJ won. Fantastic. Next time, Pat. Next time. Vic says, I know lots of doctors driving taxi. There we go. Side hustle, taxi, Uber. Why not? Rate hikes are cool with me. No debt, and I got spare cash. That's perfect, 9. And that's the thing. Rate hikes are not that bad. Like right now, if you have a lot of debt, that's where the rate hikes really, really, really impact you. JD says, because they're in huge amounts of student debt. Yeah, absolutely. Student debt is just out of control. So yeah, I'll leave it at that. Seeing stuff online, CAD going to 50% to USD. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. I saw that too. Maybe a little clickbaity. Maybe. Vic says, if oil shoots up, Canadian will go higher. Well, yeah, a lot of our economy is based on our energy sector. So, definitely can do that. Tourmaline on a tear. A lot of oil is doing really, really, really good. All right. And we get ourselves a super chat from Bence. Hello, Bence. Thank you for supporting the channel. Made really good money with HPS.A and Dollarama in the last week or so. Thanks for talking about HSP.A a while ago. Yeah, absolutely. I started talking about the Hammond stocks about a year before everybody really caught on to them. So that I'm so glad that those people who did, those people who did get in on those when I started talking about them like early 2023, holy banana bread, you guys have had a fantastic trip. So once again, thank you once again for that super chat. Now, that $5 is going into the 0 to 100K challenge. So, there we go. You have helped that challenge as well. Pushed us along a little bit. Enid says, how can I win a membership? Just by interacting. That's all it takes is interacting. And the algorithm decides. When I basically, when I put it up, YouTube decides. It's out of my hands. I wish now over on Twitch, you can actually pick, you can say, I want to gift it to this person. You can't do that over here on YouTube. And that to me is, I look at it this way. Occasionally I have somebody in the chat who I'm like, they're always talking. They're always contributing. They're at that, what I would call a super fan level. And I would love to just aim a free membership at them. But YouTube doesn't let me. It doesn't let me. And now Pat says, all good, Candace. And now Enid, just going back to you, how can I win a membership? You already have a membership, so you can't win when you have one. So I'll just put that out there as well. Ian says, I'm at work, bought Enbridge, Scotiabank, and CPX today. There we go. JJ says, "Ooh, thanks, Candace. You the best." Well, you're welcome. You're welcome. Paul says, "Inflation was never historically 2% until the last 10 to 15 years." That is true. When you look at the inflation, or sorry, not inflation, but if you look at our rates, so if you look at our rate cuts, where our rates currently are, um, they would be people from the 70s and 80s would be jealous of the rates that we have now, and we're calling them high. So it's kind of an interesting thing. But inflation has always been kind of interesting. And I think keeping it at 2%, it's okay to have an ideal, but you also need to have a fairly good standard deviation on that. And that sometimes I find they sometimes lose focus on that. Yes, absolutely. So Actaz says energy has been booming. It has. It's time to have some Starbucks here, folks. Mm, that's very, very good. Yes, and I think energy is going to be booming for a while. So I'm definitely bullish on energy this year. So it's kind of a neat thing. Now, the next deep dive, by the way, is Pemina bike. Pemina bike. I was going to say Pemina bike lanes. No, Pemina pipelines. They're our next deep dive, and I'm actually was surprised with what I saw with them. I was kind of. I think I was kind of. There's been a lot of negativity around that company for the fact that they switched their dividend from a monthly to a quarterly. Um, that I think I was colored a little bit when it comes to what I thought. I think, yeah, I wasn't purely black and white with what I was thinking, but I was actually impressed. I was happy. I was happy that I did it. And Paul says, yeah, if you're already a member, you don't win. Well, how can you win if you're a member? They can't give you a membership if you're already a member. Um, but that's, anyway. JJ says, Candace, you should start a Twitch channel. I'd follow. I do have a Twitch channel. It's actually funny. Back in the day, early in the channel, I did this whole thing where was it Sunday mornings? I think it was Sunday mornings. I did a little live stream on Twitch. It was basically I was kind of using World of Warcraft as a way to sort of compare the economy in there to our economy. So I was just, playing World of Warcraft, talking about the economy, gold farming while I was in there. So I did do that for a little bit. Didn't have a lot of followers. A couple people would pop their head in type thing, but it was just kind of interesting. Now, here's the thing. Going down the line, I might eventually just sort of rebroadcast these on Twitch at the same time because I have that ability. I just have to click that, and then I'm broadcasting on YouTube and Twitch and a few others. But right now, I think the core people are all over here on YouTube. So we'll leave it at like that for now. But you never know. AAA gaming when not living on YouTube. There we go. Banana bread video game. That would be kind of fun. I like that. Enid says, smash the like button. Yeah, absolutely. Smash that button. Turn it blue. That way there, the algorithm can send it out. Let people know we're here. We're doing this. All of that fun stuff. All right. In a moment, we're going to take a final look at the market. And then we'll talk a little bit about the U.S. rate cuts. So Pat says, maybe didn't win membership, but I'll take a bubbly. I did load up a bit on rs.to. Oh, the bubbly is good. Absolutely. But right now I drink coffee on stream, but well, in the summer, I'll probably have the occasional bubbly on screen. But usually I drink about 2 of those a day. So you can sort of see you can see right now, if you look right above the first one, you'll see that's empty. That's where I'm at in the cycle. I just always go straight down and back. So anyway, it is a fun. Enid says, Paul, I agree. All right, there we go. Let me pull back up. Let's get to the right screen. There we go. All right. So the end of the day, TSX down by 0.73%. S&P 500 down 0.95%. NASDAQ actually only down 0.8%. So they actually recovered a little bit. Gold was down. Silver was down. Oil was up. Bitcoin up a little bit. Looking to our heat map, our final look at the heat map, you can see pretty red in Canada, as I said. A lot of stuff down. A few things interesting. Dollarama is still doing okay. Let me just pull Dollarama up. So this was their earnings call. You can see, bang, and they've been doing really well since that earnings call. So I do love Dollarama, absolutely, and Bence does too. Bence, who was here earlier, did that $5 super chat. He is a fan of Dollarama as well. So you gotta love Dollarama. And I also love that with here, I can, whoa, we'll do that. That was kind of funky. Sort of a weird Mac thing. Sometimes if you click in a wrong spot, it'll minimize everything on you, but that's kind of cool. And as we mentioned as well, I wanted to take a quick gander at this. Look at this, guys. This is CNQ. Since basically, where we're looking at, since around the 13th of February, they have been moonshotting. Look at this. Look at this. This is incredible. This is great. I'm loving this. So yeah, they've been doing really, really well. So hopefully any of you guys who are invested in CNQ are doing absolutely fantastic with this. I love that. That's just fantastic. And CNR is another one that, look at this. Look at this movement. This is going all the way back to October. So since October, CNR has been just on a tear. Well, I mean, they went from $144 to $179. That's just absolutely bonkers. So not too shabby. All right, over to the US. Once again, pretty much a lot of red, other than NVIDIA. Like NVIDIA is doing, they're doing okay here today. It'd be nice. I still want to see them break the 1,000. They have not done that yet. So that is on my goals there, to see them break that 1,000. And I know somebody just mentioned Apple. Apple not doing so well lately. They have been, well, look, they were up at 195 back in January. They're down at 167. Now, I'll tell you though, there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes at Apple, so I would not count them out. If I would say anything, if you're a fan of Apple, this is a great time to be looking at entry-wise, because once we start coming out with Realm, so Realm is this new AI that's going to be powering Siri. It's going to be kind of interesting. So just keep your eyes on what's going to happen with Apple. And, you know, and if Apple, this is one I always say, like as a Canadian investor, if Apple's too expensive, get the CDR. You know, if you want some exposure, you can do it through the CDR. So that's kind of cool. All right. And finally, crypto, once again, Bitcoin up 1.15%. Ethereum is now up 0.31%. So it looks like it's slowly starting to recover, all of that fun stuff. All right, there we go. Bring me back up full screen. I'm going to have another coffee here. Okay, so the U.S., the U.S. CPI. Let's go back to the last two. So the last two CPIs for the Feds in the U.S., they showed inflation to look a little bit sticky. Now, when they had their last rate meeting, Powell said, so, you know, J.J. Powell, Papa Powell, he came out and said, well, we think it's seasonal. We're not too worried about it. But you guys know, I know, he probably wasn't going to be right. The writing was on the wall. Things were not moving in the right direction. So when this one came out, my anticipation of this one, I was expecting it to be sticky. I was expecting to be sort of the similar thing. So last month it was 3.2%. I was expecting another 3.2%. I was really not expecting much of anything. Well, I was wrong. It came in hot. It came in hotter than that. It came in at 3.5%. It's probably the biggest jump they've seen in inflation in the last 6 months. So pretty bad. And now a lot of people are saying, okay, the very tiny chance of a June rate cut in the U.S. is gone. There's no way. Now, I had been hedging on July, and now I'm thinking July, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing July. Not after that. I am now sort of thinking the U.S., we're not going to see a rate cut. Oh, maybe there's an off chance in September, But a lot of people are thinking, and I've heard this sentiment on YouTube, that a lot of people are thinking we won't see a rate cut in the U.S. until after the after their election. That would be interesting. But I'm not quite that bearish. Thinking I'm thinking we have a chance in September. If not September, I think October at the latest. Uh, but once again, we have more data that has to come out. And these are the type of things like when you're making a prediction on something that's out, like a rate cut, you have to be willing to change that prediction the more the data follows. So this takes us back to Canada. So today we had our rate decision from the Bank of Canada, and they held at 5%. That's exactly what everyone was anticipating. Now they don't meet again until June, and that's when I was thinking we were going to see a rate cut. Is that still on the table? I think it is. I think that what's happened in the U.S. has probably maybe soured that a little bit, but I'm still hopeful for June. However, we got more data to come out. If our next CPI, we have inflation still decreasing, then I think June is alive. But I think if we are flat, or even if it comes up a little bit, then June is probably completely off the table. In that case, there we'd be looking at July. But right now, if I have to absolutely bet, I'm torn. But I'm gonna hold on to June until I see different data, because I can't use the data from the States. Now, what some people are worried about is that, because of the whole import thing, that Canada just will not cut rates until the US does first. Some people think that, and there's a lot of people that think that's a possibility. And that's a valid thought. It is a valid thought. But one of the things that the Bank of Canada has reiterated more than once is that we're a separate entity from the US, and that we have to use our data, not theirs, to make the decisions. So based on that, I think they're willing and probably prepared. Those are kind of the same words, but I think they're prepared to make a move before the US. So especially if the data's down, they're going to do it. I think they'll do it. So that's what it's going to boil down to. So here's my call right now. June, if the next CPI is good. July, if it's flat or sticky. If it goes up, like even if it goes up a little bit, like not a little bit, but a little more than a little bit, like more than a couple of points, then we're looking at a situation where we could see a bit of a delay in Canada. But for now, let's wait till that next CPI comes out. Let's see what inflation is doing in Canada before we, of course, make any judgment on what we do. All right. All right. Enid says, I'll call Starbucks to follow your channel to see how many times you say their name. I know. It's funny. Speaking of I want to say sponsors, but I did enter into a relationship with Seeking Alpha. I'll talk about that later. It doesn't impact any of the content on the channel. I'm going to say and do whatever I want, as I always do. It just means that, I'll be able to use some of their tools, show you guys some of their tools, show you some of the value of their services. And then if you're interested in it, we'll have an affiliate link that you can use. They don't pay me to show you anything. I only get paid if people use the affiliate link. So that's just kind of that deal with that. So it's not like they're paying me to say, oh my God, Seeking sponsors the greatest thing since banana bread. They're not paying me to say that. So I will always give you guys honest evaluations. I'm actually looking forward to it because they're going to give me access to their to all of their pro stuff, and I can't wait to see. There might even be some really useful things in there that I can use to help me as well, just with some of the stuff I do on the channel. So I think that's going to be really, really cool. Yeah, and that's the comment I was talking about when I was showing you Apple. Paul saying it's going down. Absolutely. Bitcoin sure sounds safer in the short term. I'll tell you, Bitcoin is, we got the halving coming up, not that long, probably about 10 days. So, we'll talk more about that on the stream tonight. So when we do the This Week Crypto Night, I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be cool. Mary says, I agree, Paul and Enid, and JJ agrees wholeheartedly. JJ says, I'm also a channel member for Adriano Pai's channel. And honestly, Candace's channel is much better. Awesome. I like that. I like that. I mean, I know Adriano. We've had conversations. But yeah, I mean, he's coming from that pure 100% passive income position. And I'm coming from a total return position. I mean, I love the passive income. Don't get me wrong. I'll even show you guys. I'll be like, look, here, because I'll do a covered call ETF, for example. I will do one of those in a video and I'll show you everything, but I will always pull you back to say, hey, total return is my main focus. And my reasoning behind it is that I would rather make, in a combination between growth and dividends, I'd rather make a 25% return than maybe a 15% return on some hot covered call ETF. So, it just, we'll leave it at that for most. I think we both have roles within the market. And Adriano is also a Blossom ambassador, just like myself. So, we run into each other from time to time. And I like what he does. I don't agree with everything, but and that's fine. I'm sure he doesn't agree with everything I do either. So, just in all fairness, JJ says Armchair Income also does video analysis, mostly from Seeking Alpha, and it's quite good, honestly. Yeah, absolutely. So, I know Seeking Alpha has like stock picks and things like that as well. So I'm going to look at some of those and see whether that's something I want to incorporate. I may not do it in a video, but maybe some of their stock picks, we can incorporate them in the live stream. So I have to take a look. I only just got like the back end to their a few other things today. So I'm looking forward to seeing what we have. Good Vibes is in the house. Hi, I'm late. Oh, no worries. You know what? Good Vibes. We got another stream tonight at 7 p.m. That's our crypto one, our crypto special. So definitely come by and check that out. So far, guest-wise, by the way, we're going to have me, of course. We'll have Tim Danter from Crypto Night in Canada. He was also a driving instructor on Canada's Worst Driver. We're also going to have Brandon from Green Candle Investments. And you may not have heard of Green Candle Investments, which is fantastic because I wanted somebody you guys have never heard of. So he does crypto YouTube content. I believe he's from Tampa. And actually, his channel is about the same size as this one. So I liked that part too. So he's sort of coming from sort of doing the same thing I'm doing, but on the crypto side. So we got him coming in. We will have hopefully a latecomer, Tim Perry. He's very much into a lot of these more obscure altcoins. So we'll have his perspective. He may not be there at the beginning, but he is supposed to show up at one point. Apparently he's out in the middle of Whistler, and so he has to get back from skiing. And I'm kind of like, I'm here sitting here saying, oh, how much snow is on Whistler right now? I don't know. But I imagine it's up in the mountains, so probably a fair amount. So yeah, anyway, it's going to be absolutely fantastic. 9 says, I mix passive income and total return. Yeah, I think so. I mean, and I do that a little bit to extent. So for example, we'll take Canoe. Canoe for me, every so often they have a point in time where they have some good growth, and then it is like a good total return stock. But for the most part, it's still more of a passive income one. I do like a certain amount of passive income only because this is what I use it for. That passive income, when I put a little bit of passive income in my portfolio, I use that for my passive my passive distribution. So sort of rebalancing passively. So I'm taking those dividends and I'm putting it in places to sort of push some of my percentages where I want them to. So beef up areas that I think need a bit more representation. So anyway, yeah, it's pretty darn cool. JJ says, total return team all the way. Absolutely, absolutely. And JJ, you are young, so growth heavy is not a bad thing. You've got the time. You've got the time. Pat says, I started with Adriano. There we go. Yeah, I think a lot of people I've actually had, I'm not going to tell you from who, but I've had ewemails that have been sent to me from people who are like, I was an Adriano viewer and I just couldn't, it wasn't gelling with my investing strategy. And then I found you, thank God. And I was like, okay, cool. But once again, not slighting Adriano. I think Adriano, if you're a pure passive income investor, he's got your bread and butter. Absolutely. BP says, When are the elections in Canada and the US? Well, the US is in November. That's when they have their big federal election. We'll have to see. Right now, it's Trump and Biden, but Trump's going on trial. Um, so if he gets convicted, I don't know how that's all going to roll out. It's going to be really interesting. I mean, can they have an oval shaped prison cell? I don't know how that's going to look. So, well, oval, it would be oval. That's how it would look. But I don't know how it's all going to end up being out there. Holy banana bread. Yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting. Whether or not you care about politics, you got to admit, when Trump is running in the mix, it's going to be interesting. Whether it be what is he going to say, um, what kind of nickname is he coming up next with? It's just going to be, it's going to be funny. It is going to be funny. I mean, I guess an election shouldn't be funny because you're voting in a serious leader, but yeah, there's going to be no shortage of fun, I think, when it comes to this. And part of me will be like, thank God we're in Canada. But then I look at our, our politics, and with us, we're looking at an election in right now 2025. The Liberals are not going to give up their power. So probably best guess now, until it's actually called, we don't know. Will it be a spring? Will it be a fall? I'm going to say probably fall of 2025. So from now, a little more than a year, and we'll have that election in Canada. And that should also be interesting. I think Pierre Poilievre is going to put on a good election. JJ says, 23, I'm feeling old. Um, Paul says, ATH up 6.11% today. Very, very cool. Sammer says, I do like Armchair Channel. His strategy made sense to retirees in my position. Now, I'm not sure if I know what this channel is. Somebody do me a favor over on the Discord in our, I got a little area where you can promote other channels and stuff. Throw up a link to the Armchair Channel. That way there, people can see it. I think that would be kind of fun. JJ says, welcome to the world of income tax being 23. Yeah, you're getting a crash course. You're getting a crash course. That's for sure. Holy banana bread. Yeah. And that's a funny thing. To me, it baffles my mind that you have people coming out of school, coming out of university, that don't even know how to do their taxes. I just find that absolutely bizarre that we have that. Like, school is supposed to be preparing you for adulthood, preparing you for, well, I mean, for a lot of people, just preparing them for adulthood and going to work. Then, of course, you have the pre-academic to prepare for university and moving on that way. But nonetheless, there should be basic tax stuff should be included. Basic taxes, basic investing. I have heard from some people saying that, oh yeah, my kids are finally starting to learn about some of the stuff. So hopefully that is a good indication that we have a lot of things changing. All right. We got Davd Ride. New to your channel, love the content, great info and updates. Awesome. Well, thank you. It's always good to see. I always love seeing somebody's somebody's handle in the chat that I've never seen before. So this is great. Am I saying it right? Davd Ride? All right. Anyway, fantastic. You guys are definitely awesome. All right, coming up on the channel, give you guys just a whole lowdown. We, of course, have later on tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time, we got the crypto special. So definitely check out there. I will say it's probably because there's also all the conversation going on in that style. It's not as easy to go through and grab every comment. So if you want your comment read or your question answered, you got two ways to do it. If you're a channel member, you have a free, I'll show you. Let me show you. Give me a second here. I'll pull this up. I'm going to show you guys. Make sure you guys use this. All right, here we go. Excuse me. Whoops. All right, whoops, here we go. This is what I need. So when you guys come down to the bottom, when you got your little cash thing here, if you click on your cash, you'll see here, free member milestone chat. So you click on that. It costs you nothing. You get one a month as a channel member. And as far as I'm concerned, That is the exact same thing as super chat. It gets treated with the same thing, and you can just put in whatever you want. So here, for the banana bread. All right, I'm using mine right now in this demonstration. Bang, I have used my free one. It's gone. And it will come in and it will show up. So if you're a channel member, use that for sure. If you have a question that you want to get answered tonight. Holy banana bread. It's like there's a singularity on the screen now. All right, let me get out of there. I think I showed you guys that. There we go. So use that. That's free. It is part of your membership. So you get your free super. So use that if you're not a member and you absolutely want to get a question answered. Use a super chat. Just you don't have to go all out. You could do I think you can do like $1 or 99 cents or something like that. That way there we can get through. Now I'm going to be handling, of course, the chat. I will be looking for interesting questions in there as well. So if you guys are not using super chats, I will try to pull up what I can, but there's no guarantee we can get to every single question. Hence, if you want to be heard, use that free super chat. So definitely use that free super chat. Anyway, we'll explain it as well during the stream tonight. So anyway, that's coming up. And that's going to be fantastic. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait. I'm so used to talking all by myself and having to keep on going and going and going. It's going to be weird. I'll be able to take a break as other people are talking. It's going to be funny. Now, those of you who've been with the channel for a long time, when I first started our live stream, I used to start basically me and a guest or me and a couple of guests. So I used to do that format for the most part. But then after a while, I got to it and I was like, you know what? I kind of want to just do this news thing. I want to look at the news. I want to comment on the news, really interact with the channel members. So that's when it changed. It actually, it changed from, it used to be called Saturday Night Live Stream. So it went from Saturday Night Live Stream to, to this week. And then I just like it so much better. But it's going to be fun. I can't wait to see what's going on. Now, a deep dive. We have a deep dive on Pembina pipelines. That'll be coming out on Friday. Channel members, by the way, you get to see it a day early, so you guys will see it tomorrow. So that's kind of cool. That's going to be, I can't wait. I can't wait for that. Then on the weekend, we got our normal this week, and then we're back to the regular middle of the run next week. We do have, actually next week, I think, next week is the, for channel members, we have the channel member live stream. So those of you who are channel members, you will get a live stream that nobody else gets to see. Sorry, everybody else. But I will ask you guys, I'm going to ask you guys probably before the end of this week, I'll put out a thing just to get some topics so that you guys can tell me what it is you want me to bring to the table for that one. So that's going to be cool. I'm looking forward to it. All right. Mary says, and you should design the program for the kids. Yeah, exactly. I should design. I would love to. I mean, I think that would be kind of fun. But, it would be really, really neat. Like, I wonder, I should have a side channel where I just teach children about finance so people can put their kids in front of it. And, I can sit down and it's like, welcome to the wonderful neighbor of finance. Won't you be my taxes? Won't you do my taxes? Let's do taxes together. Anyway, all right. Okay. I need a drink after that. I could not have become more corny. I can feel people going, oh, dear God, and turning off the stream right there. Holy cow. Oh, that's so good. All right. Paul says, hopefully new taxpayers are learning all these free stuff government hands out is other people's tax dollars. Yeah, absolutely. It is. But I mean, here's the thing. I don't mind the government handing out free stuff, but, take that money from places, from basically useless things that are already in existence. There's so much government bloat. We just don't need all of that money being wasted like that. So find some place where you're wasting $100 million. And sure, take that $100 million and give it to some people who need it. I'm okay with that. Just don't take 100 million out of taxes and throw that there, because there's money that's already been taxed that's not being used efficiently. That's what I will say. Here we go. Paul says, Candace, the life of the party. Whoops. Uh, Kids Incorporated. And Jersky says, like politician raises. Yeah, exactly. Maybe if you want it, like maybe have it so that it's kind of I don't know how you could do it in politics. If you could do something like, okay, you want to raise, um, we'll give you, oh, here's the beautiful thing. Their raises should be proportionate to maybe the national average. So that way they can't get exorbitant raises. They can get little cost of living ones, fine. But, perform. Don't take these. I mean, a lot of people are like, oh, they're all half the time they're on vacation. Now, apparently, when they're on vacation at the House of Commons, they should be working in their constituency. So, in their ridings or whatever, they should be doing work there. But yeah, I'd like to see a bit more accountability for what they're making. Yeah, there's a lot of changes that I would certainly like to make. But I'm not into politics. I'll just leave that be. Arrive can. Yeah, that's the thing. We've had so many programs like that that have just absolutely pretty much throwing money away. It's like the government is sitting there making paper airplanes out of $100 bills and seeing who can throw them the farthest. I mean, seriously. Like right now, Canada's a rich country. Despite our debt, despite everything, we are a rich country. We're just not managed well. So that's the big difference. And and for those of you, I'm not saying this as somebody who leans a little to the right. I'm saying this as it doesn't matter who's in charge. We're still even once we have a conservative government, they tend to be a bit more fiscally better. But even then, it's still not really managed that well. So we have to sort of figure that out, I guess. Bleak's in the house. Hello, Bleak. Good to see you. And Paul says, my MP doesn't reply to emails. I know. Neither does Polyev. I emailed him to ask him to come on the show, and I got nothing back, believe it or not. Probably too small, but that's fine. I'm like, I use that whole Wayne Gretzky thing. It's like, you miss every shot you don't take. So I'll take shots. I take shots that I'm going to miss. I don't care, because every time I take that one shot that I think I'm going to miss and I hit, I'm like, woohoo, this is fantastic. So I will absolutely do that. Jersky says, it's a terrible April Fool's joke on Canadians for politicians to get a raise on April 1st. Yeah. Candace for prime minister. I would never do well in politics, to be honest, because I would just tell it the way it is, and nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants a politician who comes out and say, "Yeah, this is going to be painful, but we got to do it. We got to get this debt under control." Nobody wants to hear that. So, whereas you get that other politician who's like, don't worry about it. It's going to be better under me. You're going to have all of this other stuff. Yeah. It's just, it's just funny that way. Paul says, a liberal, I guess he doesn't like me asking him to vote against his own Liberal Party. Okay. Well, there we go. Paul says, Trudeau actually said he is the Gretzky of politics. Really? No. And I will tell you, even though I lean, like I lean slightly, like I'm very central, but I lean to the right. But I have in the past voted for every single part. Well, the three major ones, I voted at one point or another for each and every one of them. Because I try to weigh the issues. I try to weigh what they're looking at, which one looks to at least be a little bit better than the others in that current election. So it's just one of these things. But anyway, we'll have lots of election fun next year on the news show for sure. Get Gretzky on this show. Ooh, I'll you know what? I'll email him and I'll ask him to come on. I have a feeling he won't, but like I said, I will take the shots. I will take the shots that are not going to succeed. All right, everybody, we're at that hour mark. So you get any, if we got any questions, last minute questions, throw them in, or save them up for tonight. Especially, well, particularly crypto related questions. Save those for tonight. We'll be back here at 7 p.m. So quite literally, um, in just a little more than 2 hours. Not that much, like 2 hours and 15 minutes. We'll be back on the air again. So that will be interesting. Yes, ask Gretzky what is in his portfolio. Gretzky probably has somebody who manages his entire portfolio, no doubt. Yeah, I think he's doing okay. We'll leave it at that. All right, everybody. This has been fantastic. You guys have been great. I love this afternoon. I love your guys' energy. You guys are so awesome. I'm just very honored and humbled to be here, just helping you guys out on your journey. You guys are the superstars here. I just sort of lead you all along. Anyway, until tonight, we'll see you guys at the crypto show. So, I gotta be ready to hit the end button. Otherwise, I'll just start waving, and it'll be like never stopping. It'll be like that. What is it? Sharon Lois and Bram. Are they the ones that had that song that was like the song that never ends? It'd be like that. But anyway, I'll see you guys tonight. Can't wait. This is going to be a fun show. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.